Hi everybody and welcome to GNP Travel. My name is Glenn and my wife is Patty, and at some point she will join us on some of these productions that we do. This is kind of an introduction video. We're starting a channel for vacation, for travels. We specifically love cruises and have been on 27 of them, so our plan going forward is to do a lot more and share knowledge we have of cruises, cruise lines, cruise ships, ports, things like that, and maybe some pointers along the way of things that you can do. And of course, I know there's a lot of those out there. But we decided, hey, with this COVID-19 thing and not being able to travel, we would learn and start getting into some video production and sharing our knowledge. So again, my name is Glenn and my wife is Patty. And so we've been on, one of our favorite vacations is cruising. Cruising for us is awesome. It's a way for you to get your bags, get them in your hotel, and then your hotel goes. It gives you an opportunity to see different ports, different places. Love being on the ocean, love the sunsets, the sunrise. It's just amazing. And typically we get a balcony cabin. We have had ocean view, never had an inside cabin, so I can't give you any insight. Maybe at some point we'll do that just to be able to share information with you. But normally we have a balcony. Our favorite balcony so far has been an aft balcony. We've had that twice. There is a cost difference. Sometimes you can get them pretty cheap, but most of the time it's a pretty significant cost difference. And so we don't do them that often. We usually somewhere midship. We just love being able to step out there in the evening, while my wife's getting ready and just watch the ocean or watch as we come into port, sailaways and things like that. So cruising is I think price-wise, reasonable vacation. We started cruising in 2003. Our first cruise was on the Carnival Imagination, which sadly has now been scrapped. Absolutely. It was one of their smaller, older ships, but it was always a favorite amongst people. Service was always good on there. Food was always good. Our kids were, I think, 13 and 10 at the time, and we were trying to decide what to do for spring break, and so we decided, let's check out cruise pricing, because it's, you go to Fort Lauderdale, you pay for a hotel, you pay for all the meals, you pay for things to do, and I think eventually decided that the cost was going to be about the same. So we did a five-day cruise for our first sailing, and I think we did one other 5-day cruise, and we decided we love cruising so much that now we don't book anything less than a 7-day, unless we're booking a back-to-back, which I'll explain in a minute, kind of what happened through COVID-19 and the cruises we had booked. But so, first one was the Imagination, 2003. We got hooked. Absolutely, loved getting on the ship. I think the first time, and it still always awes us when we walk in and we see the atrium and the glass and music going on and things like that. It does put you in awe, because when you're standing outside, the ships are big, but once you get inside, it even looks bigger. It's weird. If you stand at one end of the hall when you're going to your cabins, and you look all the way down to the other end of the ship, it looks like it's forever. But anyways, we've been on, like I said, 27 cruises. 19 of those were with Carnival. It doesn't mean we love Carnival over any other cruise. We just cruised a lot on Carnival. It always seemed to work out for the itinerary, dates, pricing, the whole thing. And so we did a lot with Carnival, and after 10 cruises, we became Platinum, which gives you some extra perks, some discounted pricing, things like that. So once we had Platinum, then we didn't want to go to another line and give up those perks, but ultimately we did. I think we stopped cruising Carnival for a while. I think the last one before we went on the Carnival Vista not too long ago, but the last one when we stopped cruising with Carnival was on the Dream out of New Orleans, and it just seemed at that time they were starting to take away some services and things that drew us to the cruises. And that's when we decided to try Norwegian, and we did 2 cruises on Norwegian. Now we did do some two Princess cruises during the times that we were sailing on Carnival, and Princess is a Carnival Corp line, so it's part of the Carnival family. So we did 2 cruises on Princess, and then we finally broke away from Carnival and did 2 Norwegian cruises. And at that time, the first one was on the Escape, beautiful ship, probably the best service and food. We didn't have any bad times at all on this cruise. I mean, it was just amazing from the beginning to the end. They rolled out the red carpet for us. We loved it. We did have some special perks on that ship, and I'll explain later on why. And then we did the Norwegian breakaway with some friends, and at that time, at the end of that cruise, it was still a good cruise, but the food wasn't as good and the service wasn't as good. So at that time, that was our best and worst cruises. We did a celebrity cruise, one celebrity cruise on the Equinox. Beautiful ship, fantastic, a little more subdued. We love that. We're getting a little older. We have grandkids now, and you know, we typically don't cruise with kids, so sometimes having more adult time is nice. You know, we've been on the ships with kids. We've had the water parks and the water slides and all that on ships, and this was a nice change, a welcome change. You know, at some point, I'm sure we're going to be taking our grandkids on cruises with us, and we'll have a ball with them on whatever we do. But the celebrity ship, fantastic. Food, service, the whole time, absolutely fantastic. It was the one time, the first cruise out of all the cruises we did, we were invited to the bridge during sail away from St. Lucia. Absolutely a memorable moment. Absolutely loved being up there. The bridge is huge. Captain was hilarious, and we took some pictures with him. And I might do a review of the Celebrity Equinox. And if I do, I'll post some of those pictures. We were allowed to take pictures. We were not allowed to take video up on the bridge. But so fantastic time. We've done over the years also 4 cruises on MSC. MSC is started off in Europe. It's a shipping container company. You know, they do a lot of worldwide shipping, and they started a few years back. They started getting into the cruise line industry, and mostly over in Europe, Mediterranean, and so forth. And then they started bringing it to the U.S. And so we did 2 cruises on the MSC Divina, and and it always depends on, frequently, or not frequently, but every so often the crew on those lines, they kind of change. So they go to different ships. Usually they do about an 8-month contract, and this is all the lines. They do about an 8-month contract, then they go home for 3 or 4 months, and then they start another contract on another ship, or maybe even the same ship, who knows. Typically they stay with the same line. But so the 2 cruises on the MSC Divina, one fantastic. The second time it was still good. We had a good time. Food was off a little bit. The service was off a little bit. Again, you know, we always enjoy cruising. So, but we notice these differences from you know, same ship, different time. Things are a little bit different. We've had that with Carnival because we've been on a couple of their ships several times, and the other MSC ships we did was the Seaside. Absolutely beautiful ship. Absolutely loved the Seaside. The service was great. Food was okay. It was fairly new to the U.S., so a lot of the crew had changed coming over from Europe. They were shorthanded, so I get it. We had a fantastic time. We had an invitation for the entire cruise to the yacht club and to the yacht club bar, pools, and to their restaurants, and so that was fantastic. Absolutely loved it. Then we did the MSC Meraviglia, and that was the one we just did in February before everything got shut down for coronavirus. And actually, we got off the ship, I think, about 2 weeks before they stopped cruising in the U.S. And we still had a good time. It was the people we were with that we had such a good time. And I would say 50-50 on the service. You know, we had a lot of service issues. Some of the people on that, and especially dining, was really good. Some of them even, and especially dining, because we did like three specialty dining um, dinners through the entire cruise. And um, one of them was, the food was really good in the steakhouse. Sommelier was frankly not so good. And again, I'll do a review of the Meraviglia later on, give you kind of a whole long scope of what happened that week and about the ship. And don't let that dissuade you from Carnival. Don't let that dissuade you from getting on a ship like the Meraviglia. They've been shut down so long. Once they finally start up and start going again, they'll have all new crew, all different people than what we experienced on that back in February. The Meraviglia is probably one of the prettiest ships we've ever been on. Absolutely beautiful. It has like a mall that goes down the middle with shops and especially restaurants. And then they have this LED, kind of like Fremont Street in Vegas. They have this LED that goes along the ceiling where they do shows and stuff like that, or have sky. And it's really neat. Love that. I love the ship. The one thing you should know about MSC Cruises and their cabins, they don't have a lot of storage. Not certain why. I think Carnival has probably the best storage out of any ship we've ever been on. With 27 cruises, we've learned how to travel, and we learned that not every ship has adequate storage, especially for all my wife's stuff. I don't obviously bring as much as she does, but we do things like we have this shoe holder that we put on the back side of the bathroom door. It has little hooks and hangs on there. And we put a lot of little things in there, your aspirin bottles and your hairbrush and all kinds of stuff that would normally take up space somewhere else. Flip-flops down the bottom, tennis shoes, things like that. So we make it work. But yeah, the Embassy has the least amount of storage in all their cabins. And maybe some of their newer ships coming out might do a little bit better job. Embassy also has a European style flair to their food. Again, they're a European cruise company. So, the food's a little bit more European style. Their shows a little bit more European style. They do have shows, those Vegas shows, Circus du Soleil. They have a show. We did a dinner show on that cruise, and it was okay. The show was actually pretty good. The food was so-so. Again, it was part of that 3 specialty dining experience that we had for the cruise. But so we're hoping, next year, again, we're probably going to do February. Maybe we're going to hold off on the cruising until we see how that works, masks and all. And right now we have the Mardi Gras booked on a back-to-back in the fall in September. And by the way, right now they don't allow, in the U.S., they don't allow cruises over 7 days. So all the cruise companies are always switching all their stuff around. We booked a back-to-back, so we have 2 7-day cruises, which right now is allowed. Hopefully it doesn't change. So we'll have a 14-day cruise basically. We go out. Well, I think this one goes out of Port Canaveral. Maybe not Port Canaveral. Maybe Fort Lauderdale. I'll have to look. I don't remember. I think it's Port Canaveral. So it goes out 7 days, I think does Eastern, and then comes back and then does a 7-day Western or Southern. So we were able to get 14 days. You do have to get off the ship and go through customs and come back on. I heard it's a pretty quick process. We booked the same cabin for the back-to-back, so we don't have to pack and unpack and pack again and go through that whole process of dragging our stuff around. So it'll all stay in the cabin, stay in the whatever drawers we have and cabinets. Yeah, February we may do an all-inclusive. Not sure yet. Again, it depends on the whole mask situation because I don't want to wear masks on vacation. That's just me. You guys may enjoy wearing a mask, and that's okay. I won't do a cruise with a mask. If that's required in the fall, I'll cancel and rebook maybe in the 2022, and then we'll find something else to do. So anyways, so that's a quick introduction about our travels and our cruises. My wife and I both been to other countries when we were younger before we got married, and she's been to Japan. I've been to Germany a couple times, and we might do something like that. We keep talking about wanting to do Thailand or the Philippines or somewhere in Asia, and do a couple week trip out and back. I think the only thing that concerns us is the travel. I mean, it's 20 some hours to get to Thailand and 20 some hours to get back, and maybe we break it up into you know go halfway somewhere and stay for a couple days and then go on and do the same thing back. We also talked about doing a Hawaiian cruise, which would be, I think, fun. I would love to fly to Hawaii. You can get on a cruise there. Spend 7 days around the island, then it's 5 days at sea coming back to the U.S. So you get acclimated back to at least West Coast time, and then get to Vancouver or California, and then you got just a 3 hour jet lag on that. So we're talking about that, looking at that, maybe doing that at some point. So that's pretty much it. Again, love traveling, love cruises. I'm going to come out with a Meraviglia review here soon and share that with you all. And try not to get too negative. Again, it was one of our worst cruises, but we still had a good time. So we'll share that. I'll share the good things that happen. I'll share I'll share the negative things that happen. Maybe I'll throw some pictures in and some video if I have some video. I think I do, and we'll go from there. So again, quick introduction. Hopefully, I can make this interesting for you guys and get you information and share some good video and photos. So thanks for joining me today, and have a great day.